Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you perking good. So, it is that time again for us to tap in, tune in, and get a sense for what in the hell is going on right now. Basically, to get a message of what we most need to hear at this time to help us contextualize and understand the world at this time. So we're going to dive into that here today. As usual, I have the messages over here pulled up on my computer that I will share with y'all. And as usual, we have one main message, and then we have another kind of follow-up message for an extended video on the Perk Squad for those channel members. So we have two here today as always. And so I'm gonna get into the first one of these right here, right now. Let me get it pulled up here. Got old Penelope in her blue, matching my blue over here, sort of blue-gray. And it shimmers. I don't know if y'all can see that. You probably can't. But I was like, oh, shimmery. That's perfect. We're doing a channeled message. Why not have some shimmer? But I don't even know if it's picking up on here. But yeah, I remember whenever I was kind of channeling through this one being like, whoo, this one hits different. And so I'm interested in reading it back so that I can really kind of soak it in with y'all and see if we can have some reactions together on this. So without further ado, let's take a look into this channeled message. All, thank you for being here with us today as we deliver a message unto you. This is a message of strength, encouragement, resiliency, and balance. These times ahead will be challenging and will test your faith, test your patience, and test your empathy and compassion for one another. These will be times where it will be easier to take the low road than the high road, making decisions that contribute to the despair and the destruction in your world. It will be easier to lie, to cheat, to steal, to rationalize and justify these behaviors in the times ahead. So, dear ones, please be vigilant. Please summon your courage. Tap into your faith. Use patience. And always consider the empathetic and compassionate approach in all ways and in all things. We understand that this will not be easy. We understand that this will in fact prove harder and harder with passing time. But please, dear ones, do not give up on faith. Do not give up on hope. And most importantly, do not give up on love. For love is all we have. Love is all we are. And to give up on love is to give up on yourself. Through these times ahead, you will have the opportunity to grow immensely. You will have the opportunity to show others who are lost how to tap into their inner light and take the road less traveled. You will have the ability to lead by example. And dear ones, that is your strength. That is your purpose. That is your song to sing. This will ensure the continued elevation of collective consciousness and the continued elevation of your people. This is no trivial matter, and the part you play in it is very important. You will know what to do and how. Your inner wisdom is already pointing you in that direction. You know that it feels painful to see all the violence, torture, betrayal, and deceit in this world. You know that when you hurt another, you feel hurt within yourself. You are familiar with the painful twang that comes when you have fallen by the wayside of your own inner virtue and integrity. And because you already know all of this, know how it feels, know how it makes you think, then you already know what to do and how to avoid that dark, sinking feeling. You are made of light, so choose the light. You can and will do this. We know you will. We believe in you. We support you. We love you. Your choir of angels. Whew. So, like I said, whenever I channel these things, like I've told y'all before, I'm in a flow. So I'm not like consciously paying attention to what is being written. I'm just trying to flow with it. And then afterwards, when I'm reading it, it feels kind of like the first time reading it myself. And I just remember thinking like, oh, that one's going to be an intense one, but I didn't want to read over it just then. I wanted to wait until I recorded it so that whatever impressions came up for me would be like real first impressions kind of thing. I like to verbally process with y'all. So yeah, a lot of different aspects of this one stood out to me. This is one that I would kind of re-listen to over, I think, or reread over. But I just thought it was, I don't know, just intriguing how they were mentioning like that these are going to be times where it's going to be easier to take the low road. You know, it would actually be easier, they said, let's see, to lie, to cheat, to steal, to rationalize and justify these behaviors, but that they're asking us to try to stay vigilant in that, that we know how wrong those things feel within us, or how it kind of gives us the ick when we're taking the low road. We understand how that ick feels. And so naturally we know the kinds of steps to take to not have those kind of feelings wash over us. We know what our internal guidance systems say is the better path to take. We know that. And I don't see them writing this in some weird judgmental way, or some weird like, sinning versus not sinning type of way, or, things that can get a little shame-based or nitpicky or scarier or overbearing to some people and stuff like that. I don't necessarily feel it that way. To me, it, looking at this and kind of processing it, it feels more like they're saying, we know what feels good within us and feels good within our integrity. And when we act in alignment with those things that feel good within our integrity, then that's making us a match to these higher forms of consciousness and elevated consciousness, which is better for our collective. If our collective is really trying to elevate itself, ascend, trying to rise up higher than some of this horrible, nasty stuff going on in the world, then it needs help by way of people not contributing to the horrible, nasty stuff that's going on in the world. It's kind of like if we want to see happier times in the world, we have to contribute things that can create happier times in the world. If we want to see more peaceful things in the world, we have to help be the peace. If we want to see more love in the world, we have to help be the love. We have to make decisions accordingly that can help foster those changes that we want to see. And just by virtue of us doing that, it might have some ripple effects, some pay it forward effects, you know, the whole classic, like, it's a simple little example, but you know how people talk about like, oh, someone in front of me in the drive-through line said, I want to pay for the person behind me or something. And it was a sweet little thing. And then now that person is like, oh, well, that was very sweet. And so now when I go home, you know, maybe I'm going to be extra sweet and kind to my kids. Or I'm going to be extra patient with my husband, or I'm going to, you know, do whatever. Like that person doing that kindness to me had a ripple effect, and that my mood was lifted, and so I acted accordingly. I acted like someone with a very lifted mood. I extended that kindness forward to other people, you know, things like that. We all know kind of examples of ways to do that that don't even mean needing to pay anything to anybody or whatever. We know how to make ripple effects with kindness or love or honesty or integrity, or, you know, whatever kind of values that we hold in high esteem. And the way that they're just kind of making this seem is it's not as hard as we make it seem. Like we're all like, oh, what do we do to help fix the world? What do we do to help make the world, you know, ascend, or the collective consciousness to vibrate higher and elevate? And how am I going to be able to do anything? I'm such a little, just old me. What the fuck am I going to do? You know, like we get so out of ourselves with that and overcomplicate it, and they're just like, it's easier than what you're making it out to be. You feel within yourself the actions that are higher vibe actions, so to speak. You feel within yourself the types of things that promote, you know, positivity amongst the collective consciousness. You know what that feels like, because you know what it feels like when you lie, you cheat, you steal, you whatever. And so if you want to see things go in a better direction, just try to be that, try to contribute to that, try to model that so that others feel inspired to do that too. Is kind of how I take it here. And there's so much more in this. It's more than just that. There's a lot of nuance here that they were saying. They're acknowledging that this will be harder and harder with passing time. They're asking us to not give up on faith or hope or love, and that love is all we have. And they even said here, to give up on love is to give up on yourself. And I thought that was interesting. Like, if love is all we have and love is all we are, then if we're giving up on love, we are giving up on us. And I was just like, wait a second, hold on, I didn't say that again. I just need to understand that here. You know, so this seems like, again, not a shame-based go through life without sin as much as it is, you know, you loving others is you loving yourself. You loving yourself is you loving others. Like it makes those impacts. It has that influence. It is reciprocal in some sort of a way. It's all connected, you know. So there's just so many parts of this, honestly. I'm not going to even be able to process it verbally all at once. There's a lot of parts of this. So yeah, it's just nice to hear your inner wisdom is already pointing you in that direction. Like, yeah. So it's not like we even have to change or be some special, you know, whatever to be able to help with this work. We already are. So anyway, I thought this one was really powerful. And like I said, there's a second message for Perk Squad members. So for people who want to jump over there and hear the second message, the extended, it will be over there. And also, speaking of the Perk Squad, let me look over here. I'm going to grab a name of a Perk Squad member to give a shout out to, because there's many perks to the Perk Squad, one of which are video shout outs. So a shout out to you, Orlando Anise. Shout out to you, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Happy to have you here, Orlando, of course. So yes, love that, and thank you all for those of you who are members of Perk Squad. I very much appreciate that. And there'll be a message coming up for y'all. For all the rest of you percolators, you know that I love you, mean it as well. Always excited to come here and bring you the main videos and anything else that we can expand. Keep sending in your requests, the things that you're wanting to see, whether they're channeled messages, whether they're tarot readings. Just send your requests. As always, it's where I do most of my videos is by virtue of your requests, and so I really appreciate y'all sending those and y'all sharing your thoughts and feels and comments below. It makes it a really fun interactive space here. So definitely, as always, love all of y'all percolators. And then, of course, speaking of tarot readings, if you would like a private tarot reading, then y'all know what to do. BeasTalksAndTarot.com. You can book a private tarot reading, a Reiki Energy Healing, a life coaching session, or even a tarot tutoring session to learn how to read the cards the way I do. So if that's any of that stuff interests you, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. Y'all can check it out. So, anywho, I'm gonna zip it for today, and I'm gonna find a little B-roll to stick at the end of this video. Some further uplifting kind of feels. I felt like today was an uplifting kind of message here overall. And that's nice to see on the channel, because again, a lot of the readings we do here on the channel can be heavy sometimes, because we are in heavy times, and so it's always nice to have some sort of encouraging, supportive, uplifting things from time to time. So I'm glad that we try to do these every month. But anywho, don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Believe me. Believe me. Bye, y'all. Yeah. All this boys is from up there. A little skinny mini. Teddy, look at his feet. No, sir. Get down. Little skinny mini. Teddy, he doesn't want your help drying him off. No, he doesn't want your help. You're not dry yet, and he's trying to lick himself dry, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but... Teddy, you look crazy. Look at your face. Buddy, let mommy towel dry you some more. Okay, alright, well that was one way to do it. Teddy. Bodie, not on the rug. Let me get your towel.